My name is Kodi Sadler. I'm from Dogs Playing for Life. We are a nonprofit that travels around the country teaching shelter staff and volunteers how to read dog body language, understand a little bit more about dog behavior so that they can socialize their dogs in large groups. So for a Tuesday tip, one of the first things that most shelter staff receive from people who are interested in adopting a dog is how are your dogs with other dogs? So it's a bit of a complicated question, so to just break down a little bit more about what goes into understanding dog socialization, we can think about how complicated it is to make a friend as a person. Dogs are very similar to people in a lot of ways. They're social creatures just like we are. So in the shelter environment, what we're hoping is that you would be able to take your dogs out, have introductions where they don't have physical contact first. So sometimes through a fence. We use chain link a lot. You have baby gates at home that are tall enough where your dogs can't reach over. Anything that kind of has that buffer so that it's not just a right off the bat face-to-face meeting. Gives you a little bit of time to see how do these dogs feel about each other. Then, if everything looks good, you don't want to assume that everything's just going to be good and toss the gates open. We also want to be sure to be careful about not creating tension or stress on the situation as the person. People love to do on-leash greetings for their dogs, which is a beneficial thing to be able to, remove your dog from a situation with the leash if it starts to go awry. But the issue with that is that the leashes cause a lot of tension. We as people tend to kind of get a little tight, get a little stiff, and the dogs feel all of that. So we would always suggest maybe finding a yard or a mutual space, maybe a neutral space for either animal, not your home if you have an animal at home already, and take them out somewhere where they can kind of be at least pretty loose, have a lot more space to move around, preferably a fenced-in area so that you don't have to worry about them running off on you. And just go slow. You're looking for loose, relaxed body language, happy, playful presentation of their bodies and their facial expressions. And there's little things that, not everybody realizes can be multiple different, multifaceted, piece of body language, like a hackle. Hackles are not always an issue. Dogs get hackled just like our hair stands up on end. It's an involuntary response. And so it can be excitement, it can be a little bit of fear, it can be maybe they're in a more aggressive state of mind. They don't really control it. So you just have to know your dog a little better and try and figure out where those things are coming from. All dogs have different body language, just like we all have different tones of voice. It's almost pretty similar to that. So each dog is going to present themselves in unique ways, just like all of us, and just trying to observe your animal as much as you can, take in all of that information, look at the big picture. The hackles aren't the most important part. The tail is important, the ears are important, the eyes are important, the body posture is important. So there's a lot of things that go into dog socialization, and it's not so easy. So maybe go find a local professional in your community or come to your shelter and ask a lot of questions because they can help you out a lot too.